guess we'll see. So, Mark, I'm going to start with you, okay?
Okay.
I'm gonna work into something today.
Yep.
From the standpoint of diamond, and this is specifically something that you'll get in cycle 4 of diamond. But I just put the finishing touches on that this morning, so that's what's still live in me right now.
Okay.
And what's your sense about diamond? I'm gonna let you have a small run with this and tell me what you get from Diamond Gemstation.
It's early days still, so
yeah, sure, it's okay.
And trying to think back to what we've covered already.
Well, do you want a Kickstarter?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Diamond is always what lies beneath. It's the unspoken, the unknown, the not unknowable. It's not unknowable, okay? Perhaps approaching unknowable when you get up to that sort of realm of the divine aspect of things. But in the domain of physicality, hello, Doug, welcome. In the domain of physicality, of physical manifestation, it has a sense about it. And so I'm going to, do you understand? It's not quite words yet. Yeah. Hi, Molly. Welcome. I've got everyone muted, so if you need to speak, unmute yourself, and then when you're done, remute. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I get the feeling for Diamond that it's something that is very aware of what is going on with all the other I'm trying to think of 2 words. When people connect into other gemstations, the Diamond is still aware as to what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's interesting what you were saying about it being underneath, because I had the perception of it being above.
Well, it's when you get into the realms of Star Ruby and Star Sapphire, you're already in the realms of some form of expression.
Yeah.
In Diamond, it is the occult behind the occult. If you remember the first Diamond Gemstation lesson, where with the example of the chair, and you go further into the chair and further into, what was the cause of the cause of the cause of the cause, until really, if you followed the exercise through, you would probably hit the point of just silence in yourself.
That's where it got to.
But not emptiness. And that's the thing. That's the difference. It's silence, but not emptiness.
Yeah,
so,
I got that that feeling, because it would be an emptiness if not having gone through the stages of varnish, wood, the fabric, the softness, and so on.
Yeah.
Had not gone through that before getting to the silence, yes, it would feel empty. But by being aware of those other steps, which in itself, each of those would create a perception and a connection.
Yeah,
I totally agree. It isn't an emptiness, but it does go back to that point where at that time of not being able to take it further, doesn't mean it can't be taken further the next time we're doing it, but at that particular time it gets to that end point.
I would have to agree wholeheartedly. So now, in the realms of the physical, right? Because each of these are cycles, aren't they? We go Diamond, Star Ruby, Star Sapphire, right? Diamond, Star Ruby, Star Sapphire, 4 times. Each time, click, 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 going down. Yeah. I want to take you somewhere want to take all of you somewhere with this. The idea of why you're here right now in this meeting. Not the words behind it, but that unknown essence behind it. Yeah. What would you say? Mark, why are you here? Or Sam, why are you here in this meeting right now?
Come on, mister.
By the way, this is antidotal, not anecdotal, but antidote to last week's meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, because last week's meeting was a bit of a being, clubbed over the head with a frying pan, wasn't it?
Still got the sore head from it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, Sam, I'd love to hear from you. Why are you here at this meeting right now?
I find the meeting's interesting. It's interesting. So. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So now we're going to follow this chair thing, right? You've just observed the chair. The chair is interesting. I'm going to use your words. All right, now click another level back. Why is it interesting?
Are we talking about the chair or the meetings?
Say again, please.
Are we talking about the chair or the meetings?
The meeting, because your way into this was it's interesting. So why?
Relax. Just relax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No frying pans this time, I promise, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, I've left them all upstairs.
Brings out saucepan instead.
Yeah. the rolling pin.
All right. Why is this interesting?
It's about the way the universe works, and that's interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm resisting trying to draw it.
It's okay. I'm going to switch between the two of you. Okay, Sam, I'm going to let you have a ponder on this.
Yeah.
You'll both get to the same place. I presume all of you will actually get to the same place in this. Mark, why are you here in this meeting?
In this particular meeting?
Well, in any of them. But
Okay.
Yeah, sure. You called in 5 minutes early even.
Sure. Yeah. It's to be able to understand how things work.
Okay.
So as to be useful.
And why is that important to you?
Because the state of how things are at one level on this planet is getting desperate.
Okay.
But the other side of that is that the potential of what we can get to in order to help the planet and higher up.
All right.
It's important to me.
Why? Why is it important to you? We're going through the levels. We're doing a diamond exercise, okay?
Yeah.
And words are going to start to fall apart, and you're going to be left with one thing. All of you will be. All right, ponder on it. I can see you need a minute.
Yeah.
All right,
Oh,
Amaris.
Okay.
Amaris, why are you here?
Yes. Actually, after many years, I finally found a place where I have friends who can understand me.
Okay.
And I found others who have maybe have similar desires inside them, like myself. And like what Mark said, a very strong desire is always in me, calling me, and it calls me. I want to know how universe works. What are the laws of universe? And maybe by understanding these laws, it can help me to progress in life. If I want to make it very brief, I want to know. I want to know the cause of everything.
Okay. And if you were to know the cause of everything, or even the cause of 10% of things, what would that cause in you? Okay, I'm going to leave you to think about it, okay? Stay with it. Molly, are you willing to jump in on this? If you might be
Yes.
muted, dear. Okay.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Right. Now I can.
Okay. I would say that it's connection to these higher realms. And I have found after doing the exercises or the different stages, I have experienced what I believe is it's connected to, and it's definitely got a vibration, a frequency in which I wish to be connected to. It's being it being our human heritage, that this is something that if I'm going to choose something, this is what I would like to be, joined with, and
Right.
married with, and having a love affair with,
Right.
because it's connected to a higher order of energy, it's connected to a higher realm, in which we are, this was a guide to get to a higher realm, in which, it's a part of it's something that I would like to be joined with. Am I answering my question? I think I'm going in circles.
It's okay. I'm trying to get everybody at the same place. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And you're there, right? Sachin, are you willing to jump in?
Yeah, I'll jump in. I've been put in a spot like this in this last week with a different group of people. So I'll see if I can say something original that I haven't heard from anybody yet, including you, Pierce. So I believe that there is I don't know the exact word, cosmic or a metaphysical or a quantum essence that was the beginning of everything, that was connected to everything that exists. I am from that, whatever it is. There isn't a word for it.
You went right
and
to
everybody here is from it. I believe the reason what is missing is everybody is disconnected to varying degrees from it. And I believe if I reach that instance, then I can achieve my full potential, or the potential of that cosmic, whatever it is.
All right.
So
you bridged us. You bridged us there. Well done. We have something within us. We have a feedback mechanism in us that lets us know when we're connected to it. Can anyone tell me what that feedback mechanism is called in just plain terms?
I want to say instinct, but I think that's an inadequate word.
Well, instinct plays a role in it. I'm talking about there's something built into each and every human being that lets them know when they're connected. Yeah, it's almost like this light that comes on. Who knows what it's called? You'll go when I tell you. It's called joy, ladies and gentlemen. Joy. Isn't that really the reason why people do everything that they do, or why they seek everything that they seek? It's because when they find it, when they connect to that thing that they're looking for, it brings joy, doesn't it? It just brings a sense of joy. if you're not here because this makes you glad, makes you happy, brings you joy, I would question why you're here. But I don't think that's actually the case for anyone in this group right now, if you really boil it down. Now, so you can say that God, the creator, the absolute, whatever you want to call it, put this feedback mechanism into the humans and says, you know, when they're doing it right, whatever it is, yeah, it's going to feel like this. It's going to cause a bit of joy in them. Would you agree? You know, so where we can go with this is, for now, I just want you to put that on the back burner as a maybe, okay, for yourselves. Maybe it's joy. Maybe that is the first and most primary signal of living the kind of life that you want. Right now, people do all kinds of things, don't they? People go after money and they think their life purpose is to amass wealth. People go after, education, and they think their life purpose is to amass knowledge. People go after humanitarian things. Yeah, their life purpose is to assist and help others. But when you boil down the how of it, the underlying aspect of it is joy. And so I would challenge you that if that's really the most fundamental process in there, and you can work it out for yourselves. And there's always going to be a devil's advocate in this, and so we'll address that in a moment, okay? But wouldn't it make sense, if that's the case, then do more of it. Do more of what brings you joy. Go chase that. Go, whatever it is, ladies and gentlemen. If you like, I don't know, anything. If you like swimming, swim more. If you like thinking, think more. If you like whatever, do you understand? It's because each of you are very different. Each of you are very different entities that are having a planetary experience right now. And each of you have the same feedback mechanism in you that when you're living according to purpose, your design, one might even say your true will, you'll know you're on the right path because you'll feel more joy. It's very simple. Yet it's not, because people do try to complicate it. People will say, oh, Pierce, does that mean, right, that if I'm just going to pursue my own happiness, my own joy, that I do so at the expense of everyone else? Or Pierce, does that mean that I should go quit my job because it doesn't bring me any joy? What's the answer to that? Well, I wrote about it yesterday, but the answer to that is, yeah, maybe you should. If it really will bring you more joy, maybe you should. But think about it. Think about all of the levels that come into play in here, because if you're not equipped to just quit your job, you might end up, homeless and hungry. And that may have a negative net effect on your joy, the overall joy that you're experiencing in life. And so now we can begin to categorize things. We can begin to categorize things in a couple ways. We can say things that bring me joy directly. Okay. For me, that's writing. Writing is one of them, specifically about this sort of thing, because it helps to connect me. Yeah. Another aspect that brings joy is doing this, meeting with all of you. Those are direct, joyful experiences for me. Indirectly, I hold down a job, which, if I didn't have to, I would just devote time to doing this, but it's a requirement right now. Yeah. And so I can find joy in what I do because of the outcome, because it allows these other things to be possible. And so that second category would be along the lines of support, of joy. And then there's things in our lives that are inert. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Inert, right? Doesn't necessarily bring you joy to tie your shoelaces. Yeah, it might support it. You could argue it might support it because it's protecting your feet from sharp objects, right? But things, some things in life are somewhat inert, and then some things are actually counter to joy. And those things, if they are not, here's the rule to live by in this: if those things are not necessary to you, you must get rid of them as quickly as possible. If something is bringing you the opposite of joy, whatever that is, you must work to eliminate that. That's one of the kind of personal development steps, personal development efforts to be able to make. And like we said last time, sometimes personal development isn't so much about what you can add to yourself as what you can eliminate from your life. You might have people that really find a lot of joy sucking the life out of you, but you don't really enjoy feeding them, emotionally, electrically, whatever the case might be. Consider cutting that out. You have the right to do that. Now let's talk about the things that are inert: brushing your teeth, tying your shoes, things like that. Although it's necessary, and it could be argued that it does, at least in some respects, lead to an enhancement of joy, there's a shortcut that you can take, and that shortcut is to play, is to do things weirdly, do things differently. If you find that something like brushing your teeth or tying your shoes is relatively inert of joy, change it. Try to do it in a different way. Try to do it like a kid would do it. Make a game out of it. Anything and everything you can, because honestly, that's what brings joy, right? If you try to brush your teeth, using just your wrists instead of your hands, probably won't do a very good job, but it's not going to kill you in the long run, right? It's interesting, it's fun, it's weird, Even doing it with your left hand or your non-dominant hand, you find out how unskilled it is, and it kind of makes you laugh a little bit. Try tying your shoes and then putting them on. Find ways to extract more joy. Now, let's give another example. Are we all on the same page so far? Is this good? Just give me a thumb if it's good. Okay. Let's go for another example. There's a big difference, isn't there, between having a cup of coffee or tea or whatever and enjoying it. Wouldn't you agree? There's a big difference between that. And the point that I'm trying to get across in this is that your life is absolutely just seething with joy, and you just don't know it because you're not paying attention to it. All the little things that you do. Can you just stop for a moment and take a physical check of yourself? Personally, I just discovered that I rather enjoy the way this carpet feels on my feet. It's kind of soft and it has an interesting texture to it. It's because I took an assessment. That actually brings me joy. It's comfortable, feels good. Can you take a snapshot of yourself right now and find something that's bringing you joy, either in the form of comfort or actual joy? Sachin, you just had your coffee. Were you enjoying it or having it? You don't have to answer. I'm just making a point.
We started enjoying it.
Thoroughly enjoying it. Excellent. See, and you can tell by the smile. Now, shouldn't this be what life is more like? I mean, if you can stop at any place, anywhere, and observe how much joy is actually in your life at the time, don't you think your life is going to be a bit better? It will. We've lost it, haven't we, ladies and gentlemen? We've lost our ability to just pause and experience joy. Sitting in the chair, you might hear a bird out the window. That might cause you joy. Normally, if you're not observing it, if you're not looking to squeeze more joy out of life, then it'll just pass you by. It's like joy floating around that hasn't been consumed. Okay, Mark, back to you, please. So, why are you here? in this meeting?
To get more joy.
Right. Is it working?
Yeah.
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 Now, I'm saying this is the antidote to last week because you all must have enjoyed it or you wouldn't come back, even if it was a bit of a bashing with the frying pan, wasn't it, last week? That's a curious thing, isn't it? Because what you're not enjoying the message as much as what attended it. Do you understand the difference? It still grounds you.
Yeah.
Still brings you into contact with something. Yeah. All right. I'm going to pause for questions. This is so simple, isn't it? I said I'll pause for questions, and I do mean it, but is this overly simple? Can we wrap up, all of the lessons we've ever had together and just say, okay, ladies and gentlemen, go find joy. Thank you very much. Good evening.
Simple doesn't mean easy. It
Right.
is very simple,
Yeah.
but it's very, very difficult.
Why is it so difficult? Why is it so difficult to even have the concept of, joy is, well, I mean, it's almost redundant to say joy is pleasurable, joy is joyful, do more of it. Doesn't it seem a bit overly simplified to say do more of it? Yeah.
I think when something becomes like a habit, the joy of it goes away. For
Mhm.
example, you said about a cup of coffee or tea. We do it every day, and sometimes we lost that we lose that consciousness of having joy when we do it.
You're right. It does become habitual, but what is really the underlying problem? Not just the fact that it's habitual, because your moving center does need habits. It needs a habit life. You wouldn't be able to get out of bed in the morning without it, right? But what's a little bit more core to the obstacle to experiencing joy?
I think it kind of ties into the fundamental question on why you asked, why are we here?
Huh.
We are here because we are seeking something. Once we find it, whatever it is, we feel we have gotten there, but we really haven't. Or even if we have, we are looking for the next something.
Yeah.
And therefore, whatever we have starts to look boring or not interesting enough. And so that's sort of what I think. Like, it's human nature, curiosity, and an unending quest to know or get better. Makes things that we know well boring.
Yeah, I would agree that is a psychological facet. But I'm not convinced that the solution is to go do more and more and more, right? I mean, you get these thrill seekers. Yeah, and I know you agree. You get these thrill seekers, right? First they go, rock climbing, and that doesn't feel as dangerous anymore. And so then they go bungee jumping, and then they go, in the squirrel suits off the edge of a mountain, and then they go, it's like this kind of more sort of thing, which has a desensitization effect. The opposite approach to more is open. In other words, internalize it, be more observant of your life and what you're experiencing at this very moment. Yeah. Did you all pause and take a sense of your body and go, that feels good, right? That's comfortable. Yeah. That's being more open. I'll tell you what I have kind of come to, that the other, someone Mark, do me a favor and just say something so that your screen comes on for me, because right now I'm staring at a black screen.
Okay.
Yeah, right. Thanks.
Yeah.
Good. Yep,
Right.
good. The other thing is to be more singular. To be more singular with things. I'll give you a good example from my own life. Pleiades and I enjoy having breakfast together. We sit and we chat and that sort of thing. And she does the right thing when I'm not singular with her. You know what she does? If I'm like partly writing, partly chatting, partly sipping my coffee, she'll get up and leave. Why is that the right thing? Because if I'm not singular with her, it's a very respectable thing that she does. If I'm not singular with her when I'm spending time with her, it's not really joy, is it? It's habit. Be more singular with what it is that you're doing. And in personal experience, you'll find more joy with it. When you're speaking with someone, be with them. All of you, be with them. Not all of you, but all of you, yeah? Be with them. If you're eating, be with the sandwich. Sounds funny. What did the Buddhist say to the hot dog vendor? Make me one, with everything. Make me one with everything, yeah? But no, be singular. Be singular. It'll help. It does. It increases your joy, increases your sense of joy. What else increases joy? What about doing things for others? Haven't you noticed, as humans, we're hardwired to also feel joy when we do something that gives another person joy?
Feeding others.
Huh?
Feeding others.
Feeding others. Does that bring you joy? It does. Yeah. Yeah, feeding others. No one can come into this house without getting a mouthful of something, food. Yeah. And Turkish tea. Turkish tea. It brings her joy to be in service. She's in service right now. She does it because it brings her joy. Yeah. It doesn't have to be major. You know, you don't have to run out to the store every day and buy someone a present. Here's your present today, right? One more coming tomorrow. You don't have to do that. Just a kiss on the cheek, serving a cup of tea. The thing is, in that regard, it's not to be responsive. It's to be proactive, because if the essence of what joy is in the universe, if the essence sees you as a conduit of bringing more joy into the world, into yourself and into the world, it's going to put more of it to you. Yeah, you're an angel, you're a messenger in the truest sense, messenger of joy. I think it's great discipline to kind of take a mental accounting of everyone you love, everyone who's important to you in your life, and make it a daily discipline to do one thing that will bring them more joy every day. Yeah. Bringing someone a cup of tea, for example. Yeah. Yes, Molly, jump in.
Yeah. Can I share something that I do
I would love to.
that makes me feel very happy, and that I want to share with the world, even if I don't even know the person?
Yeah.
Hang on.
I'm
Just
listening.
gotta get it.
What's that?
It's like one of my creations.
Love it.
It's got birds, and it's like a little bowl. And a friend of mine named it a baby bird bath.
Baby bird bath. I can see that.
Right? And there are different colors and different, I'm a ceramic artist.
Uh-huh.
And I make these to sell in shops, like bird shops and things like that. And I find that because they make me happy, it makes me happy making this, creating this, then and I, I feel like what I put into it, it goes into it, and it goes, when I sell it, it goes into the hands of someone else who makes them feel that. It's the sort of idea of sparking joy. There's a book called Spark Joy, but it's that ability to. It's just something that I do, and I find it makes me feel very happy.
Yeah.
And I don't even have to know the person that bought it. I just need to know that it made them happy.
Mhm.
So, it's my way of saying, saving the world one baby bird bath at a time.
I love it. Yeah.
So I thought I'd share that with you.
Yeah. I appreciate it. And the smile that I'm getting right now is just because I love watching you have that kind of joy about it. I love watching people
Yeah.
experiencing that sort of joy. Yeah. Did you all see it? It was such a beautiful example of exactly what we're talking about. Yeah.
See, can you see it? It's just a little what they call tchotchkes.
Okay.
And I never thought I never thought, I mean, tchotchkes, what do you do with them? But, you can put a candle in them. You can put your pills in them. It's functional, but it's a creation. It's something that is that came from my hands and my heart into this piece, and it's it might find its way to somebody who I don't know. Hopefully,
Yeah.
that makes them feel the same. So I think that is something that brings me a lot of joy when I'm in my space, in my creative space, and it's like it comes through. And it's not just this; it's many other things as well.
Right. Wonderful. Excellent. This is perfect. This is exactly right. Exactly so. Now, let's talk a bit about this notion, this idea of just going and grabbing joy, more joy in your life, because the world is a bit of a stigma about that sometimes, doesn't it? There's a bit of judgment. There's a bit of self-censorship with regards to just being open and honest and going out and doing what makes you happy. Yeah. I'll give you an example. I will be completely open with you right now. There's this one video game that I've been playing for like 7 years, and it's going to shock you. It's like a war kind of game, right? And it brings me so much joy and so much grief all at the same time, but I love it. I literally love playing it, don't I? It brings such grief and such joy all at the same time. Now, the reason why isn't because shooting and all that type of stuff. The reason why is because one of the features about me is strategy. This is something that was woven into my being, and I love strategy. I love things like chess. I love games where you're thinking it through and getting the big picture and trying new things and trying new strategies. Now, do you see the joy on my face? I'm talking about this game and I'm thinking about it, and thank God I'm not a guru, right? Because if I was a guru, everyone would be like, oh, he plays a war game. Oh no, run away, right? But you got to just be honest with yourselves. And not that you aren't, but you have to be honest with yourselves and just do what brings you joy, despite whatever the world might say about it. Yeah. If skipping down the street like a child brings you joy, it's also going to bring, derision and possibly the police. But if it brings you joy, do more of it. Do you see? This is what I'm trying to get through today. Is go actively be an angel, a messenger of joy. Go actively get more of it. If you find something you enjoy, do more of it. Do less of the other stuff. And the stuff that you can't avoid, the stuff that's necessary, find new ways to do it like a kid would. right?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
I find that, yes, I mean, it is very, it's very, being joyful and being silly is wonderful.
Mm.
But I find that there's parts of me that feel like, oh shit, what do other people think?
Right.
And that whole like, oh my God, you know, and I feel that very present at times, and it really isn't helpful, but it's there. And maybe it's my upbringing, or maybe it's just, but it's there, and it's very, it I'm, well, at least I'm aware of it. But and I do have a choice to say no, no, I'm not going to go there. But I find that it comes up if I have like reckless, just happiness, or
Molly,
silliness.
the
Yes.
reason why is because you're not being singular with it.
Ah,
If you were
okay.
being singular with it, you wouldn't have room for that. That wouldn't be
Right.
able to creep in.
Okay.
So, and that is more difficult. I'm not saying that's easy, like Sachin said, easier said than done, right? In a nutshell. Yeah.
Right.
But being more singular with it,
Okay.
what's the I'm drawing a blank on the word. There's an Eamon story about dancing.
Yeah.
Who's got it? If anyone does, if
Oh,
not,
Zorba the Greek.
Zorba the Greek. Yeah.
Zorba the Greek. Yeah. He dances for the green emerald or the green. Anyway, yeah, that's right. And
The idea
right.
is to be singular about it.
Yes.
And then there's no room for any of that. It doesn't matter what people think.
Yeah.
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 Obviously,
Beautiful.
let's be reasonable about it. There's safety considerations. This is where we have to also be adult in our understanding of this and say, it's not, if your greatest joy in the world is, to run down the city street nude, that's a safety problem, isn't it? Right? Because somebody's going to come and arrest you, or, whatever the case might be, you see. So the bigger picture also comes into play. All right, I do have to weave in that bit of reason in this, but for the most part, even if people are, I'll tell you what. Actually, what's actually going to happen, Molly, is that you'll get a bunch of people interested in doing what you're doing, because
Right.
that kind of joy is so contagious.
Yeah.
It really is. I'll tell you, when I was a child, I met this professional yo-yo artist. You know what a yo-yo is? It's like this little thing on a string, and yeah, goes up and down. Well, he could do all kinds of things with it. I mean, just like the most amazing things. 2, 3 at a time, one on his foot. And what a weird profession. He got paid to do this, right? And I knew in my mind at 6 years old that that's what I was going to grow up to be. I wanted to be a professional yo-yo artist. And the reason why, you're laughing, it's great, right? She's happy I'm not, I suppose. But the reason why is because he did it with so much joy that it's so infectious, it's so contagious. And the point isn't to live someone else's joy, which is what my 6-year-old brain wanted to do. Right? It just wanted to process that force, really, is what it was doing. But I didn't grow up to be a yo-yo artist, but I did grow up doing my joy, which is what I'm doing right now. Yeah. And so, yeah, no one's going to stop you, really. And truth be told, even if it's outrageous, probably there's going to be a great deal of people that just want to be like you and do it too. And in these times, isn't that nice to bring a little bit more of that into the world? Yeah, than what's going on in Europe right now. This is, I'm not going to dive into that, but this is my antidote to that as well. You see, electrically. You understand? Good. All right. Who else wants to have a go? I've been pitching for a while now. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy. Speak up or I'll pick on somebody. All right, Mark, jump in for me. It wasn't a frying pan, was it?
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking about the big one of the biggest joys that I've got, and I'll say it anyway.
I suppose one of my biggest joys is frying pans. Now go on. What were we saying?
Yeah, it's taking old tapes and then converting them to MP3.
Yeah.
Not just music, but other kinds of
Yeah.
tapes. And some old tapes, they are so crackly. Got people dropping things and banging things, and
Right.
yeah, I don't know if part of the job description or qualifications to do Blue Watch was to be clumsy. The
Right.
amount of noise that they made at times, you know,
Banging things around.
yeah, to just to explain that in meetings gone by, there was people that would bring cups of tea and hang on a second.
Yeah.
Okay. To whoever was taking the meeting. And yeah, when they would get close physically to whoever was taking it, like coming up to the table, you know, things were more potent, and so they got clumsy. And one of the, she's digressing from the joy thing. It's a funny thing. Sometimes when I'm cleaning the tapes up, I won't take those bits out.
Yeah.
I'll leave it in there because it's part of what was going on.
Yeah.
But sometimes it really doesn't fit, so I take them out. And I can spend hours and hours doing this because to load the tape on, you got to do it in real time. Yeah. So if it's a 4-hour meeting, the tape player is going to be putting it on for 4 hours. When I actually probably double that because of how things won't go right, and so it has to be put on a second or third time.
Yeah. And
it's just great, you know. And even if it isn't paintings, it's old 1980s music tapes. I'll show you my age now. Yeah. And the problem with a lot of modern music is they take it's just being a digital, it doesn't carry the same sound as if coming from analog. And yeah, I get told off at times. You spent, you know, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, you should be in bed and all this stuff. But that's a bit like you in computer games, isn't it?
Me,
shoot 'em up games, you know, as well. Yeah. And it's just, I don't want to go into to analysing it, but it does bring
no,
joy.
you're right. Don't analyze it.
Don't analyse it. No, just go, yeah, run with it. Yeah.
Do more of it though. That's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Do more of it.
This is it.
That's what I'm trying to get across today.
Yeah.
Because I think that message has been lost by and large in our modern culture. It's a rat race, as they say, isn't it? Such a rat race out there.
Yeah. Is it productive? Is it going to benefit you? And if it's joyful, that is a benefit. But what most people see as benefit is if it's going to cause them to earn more money.
Lucrative or whatever.
Get promoted.
Now, this does bring us to another idea, though, that someone could literally just be in love with going and making money. And is there anything wrong with that? If they find so much joy from doing it, right? Investing and wheeling and dealing and a lot of it, right? No, of course there's nothing wrong with that. In a spiritual journey, it's so easy to become self-judgmental, isn't it? To become like, I shouldn't be doing this, and I should be doing this, and I shouldn't be doing this, and I should, when in reality, God, the creator, whatever you want to call it, put a feedback mechanism in you. It's the sense that you get. It's the lightness in your step. It's the vibrancy within you when you're doing what you were supposed to do. We don't need to overcomplicate it. Yeah. If I'm playing that video game, and it's bringing me joy, then okay, right? Doesn't make me any less spiritual. In fact, I would argue it makes me more so, but not in a conventional way. But then again, I never promised to be conventional, did I? Yeah. Good for
Yes,
you.
I think there's lots of people, including me here. My guilty pleasure is also a game. Lots of games, really. But Kim knows that. She's like, to the point of when it gets to the point of leaving everything else and playing for 4 hours on a day when I'm supposed to be working in the yard. That's kind of where it gets. Okay, that's you gotta stop.
Well, listen, it's self-correcting, isn't it? Right? If you skip too many days of work because you're indulging in a joy, it'll come back and balance itself out, won't it? You'll have to make up that time. Yeah, but I just wanted this to be very, very real and very open today, and I hope it came across that way. Such a simple thing that we often overlook. So often we overlook that. All right. Well, anything else? I'm inclined to say let's close this out. I'm going to pause recording, give a couple of announcements. If there isn't anything else, would anyone else like to say something before I do? Right. Okay. Yeah.
Just one little thing, and what I'm kind of experiencing now in my body and just in my senses as the feeling of warmth and also reconnection to times. It's almost like a kind of the parts of me that I've forgotten, say as a child when I was riding a bicycle, or a moment that I had when I was in my past. It's almost like it's sort of like the cows kind of coming home, like these little moments in terms of the moments, sort of kind of gathering around. I don't know, just a feeling, a sensation, a recognition that that's a part of who I am, a part of my life that I hadn't really a picture, a little memory of that, but it has a feeling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do.
It's subtle, but it's very powerful. So I just wanted to share that.
Thank you. Is it enjoyable?
Oh, absolutely. It's almost like getting a piece of myself back to myself, like a part of myself that I forgot.
Yeah. Our world does that. Our world chips away at us piece by piece. But the secret is that it doesn't really remove anything from you. It's just more like being painted over sometimes, right? You just got to kind of chip away those aspects of it. Go, you know what? I used to really enjoy doing this. And do it again. How many of you used to like doing things like writing poetry as children, or you know, even if you were terrible at it, playing music on some instrument. Yeah. Now the culture says, oh, you're terrible at this, don't do this, you know. What's the expression? Don't quit your day job. Right? That's a layer of paint. That's a layer of patina that gets kind of put over those aspects of us. Yeah, I would really say to all of you, go reconnect, go try and remember those things in your life now and from your childhood that brought you joy, and see if they still do, and do more of it. Yeah. All right, I'm going to pause recording. Okay with everyone? And then just a couple of quick things. Yeah. Here, don't hang up, but let's say goodbye for the benefit of those who will be watching the video at some point. Okay, so bye everyone, but don't leave. Okay, bye-bye. All right.
Bye-bye.